tell us a little bit more about who is Laura and what makes you unique?
Well, my name is Laura Meijering, and I was born and raised in Castricum, a small village. When I was 19, I moved to Utrecht to pursue my dream of becoming a fashion designer. And what makes me unique is that I am very determined. So once I set a goal, I'll do anything to reach that goal.
Could you tell me three of your bigger passions?
Yeah, because I would say like my biggest passion is fashion actually, but nature is also a big passion of mine, and cats.
I usually say that everyone that currently has a company or project in the circular economy field has passed through some kind of circular economy awakening. Could you tell us a little bit more? How was yours?
Yes, so my circular awakening happened during my third year of fashion design. I watched the documentary The True Cost, and of course I knew the topics fast fashion and child labor and negative effects on nature, but I wasn't very much aware that the brands where I at the time bought my clothes were using all these topics and didn't care about it at all, when actually to me they would sell like these amazing clothes and this amazing dream. But behind their curtains, it was all negative what they did, and they didn't care about it at all. And that shocked me just so much that it truly awakened me at the time. I also realized that for me as a consumer, I was actually contributing to the fast fashion industry. And also, if I would continue just the normal journey in fashion, I would actually be a part of this fast fashion system as well, and I would be responsible for all the negative effects. So then and there I decided, okay, this is my awakening, I have to do something.
Why did you decide to start your own company, your own brand?
So after I graduated in 2016, I graduated with a bachelor in fashion design, and I wanted to start my own company. I didn't do that right at the time, it took me like 1 year. And I wanted to start my own company because I wanted to tell like a genuine story, and I wanted to tell it by myself and not via somebody else. And I also felt very responsible for everything that I was doing in the fashion industry. So I thought it's the best way of just starting my own, and so I can still be responsible, have control over everything that I do. And that's when I started Unravelau in 2017.
What kind of solutions do you offer?
The solution that I offer with Unravelau is offering style without sacrificing the environment. What I currently see is that luckily there are a lot of sustainable brands, but most of the time they offer more basic items. And that is of course a good thing, because a good basic can last forever and you can match it with everything, but it's just a basic. If you look at the luxury segment, those items are most of the time not made in a nature-friendly way. So what Unravelau offers is luxurious fashion in a nature-friendly way. So luxurious fashion without sacrificing the planet.
How do you have access to the resources that you need to produce your clothes?
In January 2020, the atelier of Unravelau is based at the Upcycling Centrum of Almere. And at the Upcycling Center, the citizens of Almere can hand in their household items that they don't want anymore, such as textiles, clothes. So they hand it here at the Upcycling Center, and it's all collected in a big container, and then I can search in the container looking for fabrics, and because of that I'm able to take those textiles and upcycle them into unique, one-of-a-kind items.
So for you, what are the main enabler conditions that could facilitate the creation of circular economy projects and companies like Unravelau?
Yes, so I would say the main ingredients are collaboration, transparency and confidence. because I feel there are already like a lot of people working on the topic circularity, whether it's circular economy or circular product, but it's still like a new thing. It's not embedded in our society already. So if all those people on all those small islands that are doing something with circularity would combine their strength, then they could actually like make a very big change together. So maybe small startup companies could actually work together in making a bigger impact. Next to that, I also think that transparency is very important, because if we're all talking about a circular economy or circularity, we have to know what we're talking about, and it might mean something else to you than it does to me. And as long as we're not transparent about it, we're communicating not on the same level. So transparency in that case is very important. And the last thing is confidence. If you're starting your own business or project or whatever, doesn't really matter in which environment you started, it's very much depending on yourself. If you have the confidence to actually make a change and you think that change is definitely necessary, then you should go for it. And you will get a lot of resistance, of course, because you have to change something, and change never goes without resistance. So you really have to believe in yourself that whatever you think is right is actually the right thing to do, and just go for it and don't let yourself hold back by anybody who says that it's impossible to do what you're doing.
Your personal opinion, do you think a circular economy company has a bigger responsibility than a company that doesn't apply the circular economy principles?
Well, I don't think that, because I think that any company has like a responsibility to their surroundings. And if you're a fast fashion company, it doesn't mean that you are allowed to act immoral and treat humans not in the right way. However, of course, it does happen, and what you see is that those companies, of course, are criticized by the things that they're not doing good. They're even more criticized when they say they do something good, but they actually don't do it. And as a circular business, not everybody is questioning that right away. So if I say I'm a circular business, most people say, oh, okay, wow, that's very cool, you're doing something great for the environment. And they're not actually asking me, so what is it then that you're doing? So I don't think I have a bigger bigger social responsibility, but I just feel in order to be circular, I have to be transparent. I want to be transparent about everything that I'm doing, and by that I'm contributing to my social responsibility. But I think it's just a part of being circular. You have to be transparent and care about everything that's around you. There's a very thin line between like telling people what to do and inspiring them to do something. And if you tell people what they should do, they probably won't do it. That's just kind of human behavior. So with Unravelau, I really try to inspire other people to make a small change, make that next step in being more circular or being more nature friendly in your everyday life. And if people, if they find that inspirational and they actually do something just by looking at Unravelau, I will be very happy.
So if you could give them a piece of advice, if you could talk directly to them, what piece of advice would you give them?
The advice that I would give them, that I would have loved to give myself when I started, was don't think you're a superhuman, because you're just a human. You're just a human being, and you have limits to your capabilities. And that means that especially if you want to start a circular business, there are so many things that you have to take care of. You cannot do this by yourself. You just simply can't, because if you will do one part very good, the other part will be neglected. So you have to accept that you need help, or that you need to collaborate with other people. And that's not a weakness, that's just reality. And I think the sooner you realize, like, okay, this is the thing that I'm very good in, and for the other things, of course you can learn anything, but that's not the case. For the other things, I need other people, so the impact can be faster and bigger. I think when you reach that point, you're very good, and it's actually the next step in growing your business. So only advice I give is don't think you can do it by yourself, because it's not going to make you very happy.
Imagine that I have here to offer you a magical wand. And with this magical wand, you could create all the future possibilities that you wish for. And so, if you have this magical wand, what kind of future would you like to create in the next 10 years?
Yes, so that's a very good question. And if there was a magical wand, I would want to wish for more digitalization in the fashion industry, because most people apparently are not aware that the clothes that they wear are actually made by another human being. And most of the time my reaction or other people's reaction to that is like, don't be so naive, or don't you know what's going on? But in fact, if you look at that behavior, it's just a reflection of how we live today. And nowadays, everything is digitalized. Everything is made smart. You basically don't have to do anything to I don't know, to get food, for instance, or to get clothes. You don't have to do anything. You just click on a button and it's there. So people are just thinking that everything around them is already digitalized, and if you look at fashion, it's not. It's very ancient. It's not modern at all. People are still making clothes on sewing machines, and it's very nice working on sewing machines, but it's just not efficient. It takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of energy, and if all these things were, I don't know, maybe made by 3D printers, like Iris van Herpen does, the whole process would be made a lot easier. If catwalks weren't physical but maybe visual, it would be a lot more energy friendly, because right now if you have a catwalk, for instance, it's very nice. You have your whole presentation and you have like all this big audience that's watching your collection going down the runway, which is an amazing feeling, but it's only 4 minutes of fame, and you work to that point for like a couple of months, and so much energy and so many people are a part of it, and it just doesn't make sense because after that it's gone. So if all those processes were digitalized, I think nature would be a lot happier.